What have you thought about today? When you made your bed this morning, did you think about making sure that the sheets were perfectly tucked in? And when you washed the dishes, did you think about making sure that every last spot was perfectly clean? Or have you let your minds wander? Have you considered your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations? Good evening. My name is Hali Letlow, and tonight I'd like to talk to you about the wandering mind. When most of us hear the phrase, the wandering mind, we probably think about daydreams. The dictionary defines daydream as a series of pleasant thoughts that distract one's attention from the present. So essentially, daydreams are distractions. Now, personally, I believe that distractions have a pretty bad reputation. Are they always negative? Do we really always need to be paying full attention to the world around us? I believe there's such a thing as productive daydreaming. There's a difference between daydreaming about what we're having for dinner later and daydreaming about important aspects of our lives. There's a difference between making a mental checklist of chores to be done and thinking about our futures. When we are paying full attention to the world around us, we are completely focused on our external environments. Research suggests that, quote, when we give people tasks that occupy their external attention, we may be preventing them from the opportunity to imagine their own personal future. Furthermore, Jonathan Smallwood, Florence Ruby, and Tanya Singer conducted research about the connection between mind wandering and everyday decisions. In their research, they found that greater mind wandering led to a greater capacity to resist temptation. They also found that mind wandering under, quote, undemanding circumstances, end quote, allows one to make adaptive and constructive decisions regarding their future. Now, let's talk about our streams of consciousness. Research shows that we have two streams of consciousness. We have self-generated mental content, and we have perceptually generated mental content. One can control both streams, and mind wandering is a unique state that allows us to control both of these streams at the same time. But the idea that mind wandering is good is not a concept that is always understood. I see evidence of this quite a lot, especially in the classroom at school. And maybe a good example of this would be a nice little story about physics class. Now, in physics class, we learn a lot of formulas. But of course we do. This is an important aspect of almost all math-based sciences. Now, on this particular day of physics class, I believed that I had a good understanding of these formulas written on the board. So I was allowing my mind to wander. You see, my physics class seat gives me a beautiful view of our school's courtyard. So I may or may not have been gazing out the window and thinking about my future. But as a 17-year-old high school senior, I think about this quite often. Because where will I be in 10 years, 5 years, or even 10 months? Well, while I was lost in this mental state, the teacher called on me to answer a question, and I couldn't answer it. Why, you ask? Well, I wasn't looking at the board. Quite frankly, I wasn't listening to him, and I wasn't paying attention to my external environment. Many would say that this makes me a bad student, but maybe these same people would be surprised to learn that actively controlling both of my streams of consciousness caused me to appear absent-minded and out of it, but I was simply absorbed in a brilliant state of mental thought. In our society, we put so much focus toward our external environments. We praise those who make checklists and complete tasks efficiently, but we scold those who occasionally find ourselves lost in thought. But by doing this, are we building robots or are we building thinkers? We do not give enough credit to those who imagine. Our imaginations are so important. The dictionary defines imagination as the faculty or action of forming new ideas or images or concepts of external objects that are not currently present to our senses. And what would we be without our imaginations? Those who imagine truly are the great innovators of our world. To quote Robert Collier, the great successful men of the world have used their imaginations. They think ahead and create their mental picture, and they go to work materializing that picture in all its details, filling in here, adding a little there, altering this a bit and that a bit, but steadily building, steadily building. When will our society recognize the value in uninhibited thought? I'll ask you again. What have you thought about today? What will you think about tomorrow? How would your lives change if you simply let your minds wander? Thank you.